Let's take a look at Link. We're going to look at Link versus Bitcoin and Link versus the US dollar. Starting off versus Bitcoin, we're taking a look at the price here above my head. It's 33978 now. Still nobody has told me in the comments below, and I know I could look it up very easily. If this is Satoshis, and I should be saying 39,000 Satoshis, or if I'm saying the wrong thing there. And I used to know the answer. It's one of those things I would have known at one point, but I've forgotten it and become so confused talking about it that I'm just waiting for the comments to tell me. So at some point somebody will, who knows, but I'm going to assume that I've been saying it right. And what are we looking at here in terms of ChainLink? Well, we've continued to put in the I'll go back to the 24-hour chart here. We're continuing to just sitting around this area where we have this low currently, and if the prices continue to sink on down, then you wouldn't be able to be looking at this and saying there's any bullish divergence, but should the prices go up, then maybe you could between the last two lows here. But currently, if this just goes on down, it's just the same. It's just this low is just low. So overall, we're kind of still feeling the malaise of the overall industry, and of course the global economic conditions affecting us here, and as a result, we're seeing the prices go down slightly. If we look over to the where is this stupid Bitcoin dominance chart here, you can see that this has been the story for the since over here on Valentine's Day, despite the fact that obviously the Bitcoin price itself has crashed 60% or whatever since then. You can see here in the dominance chart that the alt market has been affected much worse than that. We kind of were aware of that over there on the left anyhow when we were talking about it. Funnily enough, so we can see anyway that the Link is obviously affected by that, despite the fact that in general it performs really well against Bitcoin. So what we're looking for is whether or not we'll find support here at 31,000 should the prices continue to sink on down and this not turn into any sort of divergence for us, and perhaps even if this strength of trend were to just continue to operate as it is, or even expand towards the upside, then of course that's where we'd be seeing the prices going towards. But we also are being hopeful and looking to see if things could turn around. What in terms of where the prices are right now, is there any support higher up and that you could look to? And just in this area here and here, there is some, but I wouldn't. Oh, of course, over here again. So is this a sort of pivot point, I wonder, in the market? I wonder, maybe, do you think maybe it's time we drew on some sort of Fibonacci retracement on here? Oh, we already have one for, sorry, I forgot. We're below the 382, of course, and we're looking towards 43,000 as whether or not that would be the prices towards the upside. Sorry about that, a bit confused there for a second. But what about in terms of just this move here? Maybe this swing low to this high and see where exactly we're coming down to. Let's do a bit of that. See if we can get a bit more context here. And up to there, and where are we looking at? So the 236 of that was way up there, 382 there, the 50% there, 618 there. We've actually come below the 618. 786 is down here. Should you get a turnaround right on our dotted line? That's not a coincidence, I don't feel. So in between here, again, well, it just draws the same picture, really. It's the same picture. That's what we're looking at. This line here, with those prices over on the right, whether that's 31,000 Satoshis or not, I don't know if that's the right thing, 28,000 there, or 29,000 if you want to be less sort of strict about it. And to the upside, the sort of resistance that we know about already, of course, is this 35,000 here, and then the next one you'd have to then consider, of course, is 36,000, and we can see that with this dynamic here that happened to the prices in around that area as they came down to the 382 here of this of that one, and then back up to 618 there, and of course then this horizontal line we have at 39,000 Satoshis and then 40,000 Satoshis, all this sort of stuff. That's what we're looking at there. And in terms of the trend and divergences and whatnot, you can't say so. It's not yet. You'd have to have upside there to be able to say this is bullish divergence, and then you're talking horses bolted type situation anyway, and you're looking at these levels for profit taking and whatnot. So we'll just have to wait and see. Now the dollar price is what obviously I think is the determinant factor here. So over here here on the dollar price chart, then where we already have all this information drawn in, you can see that the 236 and, as it happens, the 786 of the other Fibonacci, 236 of this one here, the big one, the biggie, is right there at that price of $2.29. So the current price there is $2.25, and this, I say the biggie, this is the all-time highs and lows Fibonacci retracement, and that's where the 236 of that is. So you know that's obviously speaks for itself. It's quite important, and obviously you could become fairly bullish on this should the prices move up above here and secure themselves and get support in that 235 area for more than just a few hours. If we look down at the 4-hour chart, you can see we've had definitely flirted in that zone there quite a lot over the last wee while, and it's not done it properly yet. It's not done it. 12-hour chart, we've also had opens and closes. Really, this is why we talk about this all the time when we talk about it. You're looking for that 24-hour type chart, opens and closes above it. So if you had to sacrifice for a period of time just a sort of 3% move in terms of managing risk and whatnot, however you chose to do that, just like not trading there, accounting for that in your stop, whatever. I'm not a financial advisor, none of this financial advice, but whatever you're having to do in order to try and get in on a move that potentially it could be 13%, that would be worth it. So say that was your that's where you went to took your long at, and that then you would have that as a choice, as a chance of doing that. And then of course you could flip short should the prices actually do the opposite and close your 412 and 24-hour candles down here and look for a move 15% down towards this horizontal line here, which we have drawn in. And we could, of course, like we've had in the past, the triangles and everything else on here, and and all the rest of it, but you can just keep redrawing these things time after time and talk about potential measured moves and all the rest of it. I don't really see the point. We know there's volatility here in bags. We know that the world is in crisis. So let's just sort of focus on the micro right now and not be greedy either way. So that's kind of what we're looking at. And is there any benefit to this then to take a quick look at the Binance Tether chart? God, I'll never get over that. I'll never get over that wick. Might just stop looking at this chart actually. So anyhow, this is where we are. We're in this range here still. This is where we've got our. It's kind of stupid, isn't it? It's kind of, I don't know actually. Maybe it's really zoomed in like that. It's stupid on my screen, but it's probably worked well better on yours. I'll leave it like that for now. This is what we're looking at here, really, essentially, and we're in the middle of this range. Do I like to look for to entries in that whenever you can see you can see these two other sort of clearer areas for managing your risk? Maybe it's better to have it just like that, sorry, instead, and look and say that we're in the middle of this area. Yeah, I think that's we're still waiting for this to all sort of play itself out, and I suppose then let's just quickly throw on one of these Fibonacci retracements and see if we've come anywhere near the 236 quite yet. Let's go wick to wick on that down to this second wick. Because you can't use that one, and I don't really trust any of this, but we're just slightly above the 236 there on that. Let's go body to body, right? Let's go body to body on this one instead, and that because of that crazy wick, and call it, yeah, from there. That's 1 pixel. There we go. So there's our body to body thing, and that's what we're kind of looking for. I'd start to you can manage your risk, like I said before, and I'm not a financial advisor, not financial advice, in and around these areas quite easily. So $2.46, I want to see the prices open and close above there on a 12-hour at least time frame, and I'll start to get bullish looking towards a target of $2.90 in terms of my first profit taking target, $3.20 and then $3.60 after that, should any of that actually work out that way. And then to the downside, I'm just taking a look at the lower end here, $2.10 or down to $2, and then afterwards $1.70. So thanks so much for tuning in. That'll have to do it for today's episode. I hope that's been good enough. And let me know what you think in the comments down below, and all the rest of it. If you want me to take a look at zoom in and look for divergence and stuff like that in the 4-hour chart, then here's your sort of final 10 seconds of the video as we look to see that. And it's a low here, so there's consolidation. That's how the word consolidate, so I'm not going to do that. Okay, great, brilliant. See you in the next video.